Our heritage is rich. Oh, call the children, give me and come, let me sing. And come, let me sing. And come, let me sing. Long time ago, we used to have a street crier going round. Yes, long time ago, we used to have a in the town. Don't talk about some. Don't talk about what I got. Every time the bell ringing, man, you know something. Heritage is rich. Our heritage is rich. Oh, God, children, give me and come, let me sing. And come, let me sing.
Coming all the way from Africa land, coming to hear you. Hey, coming all the way from Africa land, coming to carry us home. Yeah, coming all the way from Africa land, coming to carry us home. Coming all the way from Africa land, coming to carry us home. Coming to carry us home.
Akwaba, everyone.
Yeah.
Mama Akwaba free. Accra, Ghana, West Africa. Efremi Mamuli. I want to sincerely welcome you all to Storytime. Bring you greetings from the motherland. Great. Welcome, and let's hear some drive rules from the motherland.
I can't hear.
Mawuli, you gotta say something. There's no sound. There's no sound.
Got to sing and drum, Mubuli.
You'd have to sing and drum.
That's from Ghana.
No, good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guava. Hey.
Together, ladies and gentlemen, put our hands together. Good evening, good afternoon, good night. Welcome once again to the Caribbean Story Folklore. Welcome you are now under the virtual silk cotton tree. And if you're under the virtual silk cotton tree, please mute your mics. You have to mute your mics. You are under the virtual silk cotton tree. Mute your mics. We have silence under the virtual silk cotton tree. Tonight, this evening, today, we began with the roll call. Before we were brought to these lands, it would have been all drums. But when we couldn't beat the drums, we blew a conch shell. When we couldn't blow the conch shell, we beat some old iron into the steel pan. You know what? We should have had a guest appearance from the Shortney. You know, the Shortneys had the mirrors. And the mirrors on the Shortney is supposed to ward off the evil spirits. So I'll ask Amma, bring the mirror so we make sure that no Jambi and no Laja Bless and no Lugaru come in here today. So we have any Lugaru or Laja Bless on the feed today? Any Lugaru or Laja Bless? Identify yourself, because it's not gonna be nice in here for you tonight. It's not gonna be nice. It's not gonna be nice. We have our mirrors standing right by. Now, how was that roll call? That roll call, the gathering of the children, the gathering of everyone to hear the story. It was amazing. And I just want you to be introduced to those persons. Most of the persons here were Mr. Curtis Moise. He's from Barbados, and he was on the drums. We had our young Panis, Miss Dominique, and she brought us greetings from Grenada. And after our Panis, we had the amazing, the spiritual, the great, the man who loved all things Africa, Mr. Umfra Wells. Mr. Wells is very, very special to us. Mr. Wells comes from Suriname. We have the whole Caribbean covered, guys. The displaced Africans from everywhere is gathering. Mr. Wells is from Suriname, but he lives in Barbados. And he took time from his busy schedule to be here with us today. Mr. Wells, how are you doing on that side?
I am good, but I come from Trinidad.
Can you say that again?
It's Trinidad I come from, girl.
Trinidad?
Trinidad, and a Bajan woman kidnapped me.
And look at Laja Bless.
Yeah. She brings me the unique stories.
Right. So we have Mr. Umfra Wells. He was on the drum and he did the singing and gave us that lovely and warm welcome. Today, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, guys, you need to help me out a little bit. Tell me what you're seeing.
I'm seeing you.
Oh, but I am not seeing me.
A white screen. A white screen.
Okay, so let's mute again. But I'm not seeing you. But once you see me and you can hear me, we're good with that. I'm seeing a white screen. Anybody else seen a white screen?
I've seen a white screen, but with
I'm seeing a white screen.
I think Mr. Farwell
Yeah,
shared
white
his
screen here as well.
Okay.
I think
So-
Mr. Farwell shared his screen.
I think that white screen is who's sharing the screen?
Farwell shared the screen.
Lord, he must be a Lugaru. Mr. Wells, can you stop sharing your screen, please?
boom.
I tell you, he's a Lugaru. Look how we do that fast. Look how we did that fast. All right, so, I had you spotlighted. It's my bad. You know me and technology. I'm not all that. Yes, and then you have the lovely, I am Ann Worm. I'm from Grenada. And someone kidnapped me from Grenada to Barbados. So the kidnapping is continuing. People, let's leave the kidnapping business alone. So today, you guys feel the chills? Tonight, because you know we have the people from London and the people from Australia, they're streaming in, right? We had a welcome from from the motherland. We had a welcome from the west side of Africa. We had a welcome from Ghana. We had a welcome from Mr. Mawuli Dezabu. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give back the love. Let us send back the greetings, the welcome back to Mr. Mawuli, so he can take it to our fellow brothers and sisters in Africa. So let's put our hands together for Mr. Mawuli, the drums. Thank you, Mr. Mawuli. Thank you for being here. Now,
Ready?
Mr. Mawuli, we are looking forward for you to be welcoming us back to Africa, back to the motherland.
Always welcome.
We know that you're in the business of welcoming people. Guys, when you're ready to go to Africa, just check out. In fact, they were voted the #1 travel agency in Africa. That's the Land Tours. Check out landtours.com/GH. I think, Mr. Mauli, that's your website?
Facebook page, yes. Landtours.com, yes.
Right. Landtours.com. Guys, are you ready? Are you ready to make the launch tonight? Are you ready to take the launch of the silk cotton tree? Anybody ate salt? Anybody ate salt? If you had salt, Mr. Mawuli, you have to get rid of that salt. Mr. Omfra, you got to get rid of that salt. Dr. Jacobs, what are we going to do to get rid of this salt? Now listen, we were instructed last night by Dr. Anthony that it's not the salt that's the problem, but it's where the salt is coming from and who is making the salt. Because he said the salt, the real salt, the authentic salt, the natural salt that came from Africa can't stop flights of the silk cotton tree at all. It cannot stop the flight. So I will leave that for Dr. Remember, guys, to ask Dr. Anthony Richards tonight about the salt. I will leave that for the expert. Mr. Mauli, you still a partner in Land Tours or you own it fully now?
Still a partner.
You're still a partner. All right, we'll be there. We'll be there. And we're looking forward to welcoming you to this side of the world. Okay? And we want you to come. We don't want nobody to send you. We don't want nobody to kidnap you or steal you or anything like that. You're coming with your own free will. Yes? So ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Curtis Moyes on the drums, Miss Dominique Lewis on the steel pan, Mr. Omfa Wells on the drums, and Mr. Mawuli from Africa with the drums. Let's put our hands together and let's take the launch of the sacred silk cotton tree. You can put your hands together as we begin. Yes, that was a thank you for all our indigenous musicians. So, now that we finished with our roll call and we had our wonderful welcome, I need to give you the lineup for tonight. I need to give you the lineup for you to understand the level of expertise, the level of who we are, the kind of people that we are as a people. We have to say thanks to the Rampone Radio Man, the lion coming from Delaware, Mr. Simon Green. You would hear him a little bit later. And we have the likes of the brilliant Miss Astrid Bullen coming out of Grenada, the young ones, Sari Green and Amos Small out of Barbados, the awesome Dr. Anthony Richards out of Antigua. He too was kidnapped, but he lived in Barbados, so you have to explain how we get kidnapped into Barbados, because I know the person who kidnapped him came from Africa. That's some explaining we'll have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters everywhere, we have the wonderful, the brilliant Miss Verria Duncombe, the artistic Verria Duncombe coming from Freeport in the Bahamas. She survived 2 hurricanes, and she's here with us. We also have the multi-talented Mr. Quincy Brown from the Cayman Island. We have the Cayman Island going all the way up, guys, all the way up. Mr. Quincy Brown, and we have the beautiful. Now, we have our in-house artist, that's Danea. Danea is going to be revealing the silk cotton tree tonight. Danea is literally going to draw the silk cotton tree right in front of you tonight. You will see that. We're going up north now, right? We're going up to Trinidadian born Miss Lisa Thomas. And I love to let you guys know that Miss Lisa Thomas has roots in Grenada. Her father may have played with Louis Little, or may have been his cousin. You know who is Louis Little? Louis Little is the mother of Malcolm X. So all those of you in North America, who claiming Malcolm X, know that he got some spice in Grenada. That's all I'm saying. We is we, right? All of we is one. That's all I'm saying. Now, Miss Lisa Thomas, she's a Trinidadian, but she's based in the UK. And she's going to be sharing her story with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to stay to the end. It's not everybody is amazing, but you have to hear the brilliant Dr. Nancy Jacobs. You just have to hear her. And after you hear Dr. Nancy Jacobs, you're going to tell me if it was worth it. We got to know who we are. We got to know who we are. Are we under the sacred silk cotton tree? Everybody, you got your fruits together? Anybody have a mango? Anybody can pass a piece of cane? A skin up or a ackee? Anybody have no skin up in here? Where is Lynette? No sugar apple? No star apple? Have your fruits ready, guys. We're getting ready to take off. And we're going to start tonight. We want to ask Dr. Small and Mr. Lyon to stand by. We want to ask Dr. Small. Oh, Lord, you got me on fire. You got me covered. You got me covered. What we're going to have, I'm going to just say a little bit about Dr. Small, because you're not going to hear much of me tonight after now. I'm going to have the lovely Miss, this lady here. You see her? I'm sure she's looking for skin up. The lovely Miss Aisha Worm. She's going to be taking over from me shortly, right? But before she does that, I'm going to steal the spotlight from her a little bit. That's a massive piece of cane, Dr. Anthony. Where did you get that cane, Dr. Anthony?
It's my cane. Leave my cane. Strictly my cane.
Wait. That's your cane. You grew it. Lovely. But hold a minute. Did I see? He said that ain't right. Is that a mango? You might. That ain't right. That ain't right.
That's a mango.
No. That ain't right. That ain't right. I am in Barbados. That ain't right. We got COVID. What's going on here? This is a very wicked little girl. This must be Elijah Bliss. You see what she have in her hand? She's bad-minded. She have a sugar apple. Oh dear.
I grew on a tree outside.
Listen to me. Look, we even have a skin up teeth in here. We have a skin up teeth in here. Look, we have a ackee teeth in here. Oh dear. That ain't right. What's going on here, Sari?
Yeah. Orange.
Sari, you know how you love your auntie, Sari, you know? Sari, you know you love your auntie? We're going to talk about that mango business later. Theo. Hi, Theo. Welcome. Where did you get that mango, Theo? Oh, boy, the mango looking good. Theo, where you coming from? Unmute your mic, Theo. Theo, unmute your mic.
It's not from my house. We got 2 mango trees in the back, but I don't. This was given to me.
So is there any mangoes on your tree?
Yes, there are.
Okay, one more question, Theo. Where are you logging in from?
Oh, Barbados.
Oh, which part of Barbados, Theo? Talk to me.
I live in Claremont.
In Claremont. Oh, I think I can work. I think I can work with that. And you got 2 mango trees, right?
Yeah.
2 mango trees.
That's right.
Okay, good. I'm taking note of that. See you later.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys, don't forget to mute your mics. Anybody else with any fruit ready for us the launch? All right, I see we have Miss Logie, Miss Richard Duncan. We have a whole bunch of people in here, guys. Lovely. Dr. Small, are you on standby? And Millicent, we were getting ready for the video, but I just wanted, before I leave you I want to let you know that we're going to be starting tonight with Dr. Small. But first, just for this, I want you to take in a few clips from the Sankofa movie, the empowering masterpiece on what really happened in slavery. And then I want you to take just a few minutes to look at the epic science fiction film, The Avatar. From Africa to the plantation in the Americas, in the outer space, we tell our story of the silk cotton tree tonight, this morning, or today. So Lion, can we have the silk cotton tree video? And then go to Miss Worm to take over things. Lion? Lion?
I'm watching it on Facebook.
So he's streaming live on Facebook, but we are unable to see it?
What happened there?
Can you explain to us what you're seeing, Ms. Worm?
So the video is streaming on Facebook, and I imagine live on their YouTube page as well. And so we're watching this short clip of women and children huddled together live on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Worm, you would have to indicate to us when it's finished.
Okay, the avatar part of it is now on.
Can you share the screen of the video? Can you do like a, actually, no, I don't want you doing that. Maybe Mr. Ricky, Mr. Thomas, can you share that screen of what is happening on Lion's page?
So I'm going to share the link and to the Facebook Live, and you can share it with your. Part of it is now on.
Can you share the screen of the video? Can you do like, actually, no, I don't want you doing that. Maybe Mr. Ricky, Mr. Thomas? Can you share the screen of what is happening on Lion's page?
So Ricky is sharing.
As you walk with the spirit of the indigenous people.
So I'm going to share the link and to the Facebook Live, and you can share it with your.
Nice and soft, that's airy and puffy. So when you get your clothing, Yeah, what we used to do is put it nice and soft, and put it in pillows. Yes, so see how soft. Yeah, what we used to do. Wow, you're standing on spiritual ground.
Oh, what's happening
It's
on,
going to run away from you.
on Lion's page?
You have to be good. So if you're doing anything wrong, you gotta stop it. You have to be good. Stop being lipsy. You have to be good. So if you're doing anything wrong, you gotta stop it. Stop being. You have to be pure. Do you understand? The ancestors is telling you. You have to be pure.
Share the link and to the Facebook Live, and you can share it with your.
That's scary. So when you get closing, nice and soft, and put it in pillows. Yes, so see how soft. Wow, you're standing on spiritual ground.
Oh, what's happening on Lion's page? Vicky, can you stop sharing now? Okay. Okay, so Aisha, we'll give it to you. Bear in mind, after Dr. Small, we have Quincy, and he has to leave at a particular time. So after Dr. Small, you can go into the introduction also of Quincy. Okay, so.
All right. Thank you, Anne. Good afternoon to everyone, or good night, depending on your time zone. Dr. Lyle Winston Small. Dr. Small received a PhD in environmental biology from the University of Guelph in Ontario, Canada in 1973. During a distinguished career in agricultural research and administration, he was permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and chief agricultural officer in the island of Barbados. He also worked as an international consultant for CARDI, CDB, the FAO, IADB, and IICA on projects to eradicate various crop diseases and to set up the agricultural information databases. This work resulted in his traveling throughout the Caribbean, Central America, South America, North America, Europe, Africa, and the Caribbean. He wrote many papers and authored one book, In Search of the Sacred Silk Cotton Tree. He spent many, many hours researching the biology, folklore, and history of the sacred silk cotton tree. Today, Dr. Small, the foremost expert in all things silk cotton in the Caribbean region that we know, is here to share his knowledge with us. I present to you Dr. Winston Small. Dr. Small?
Hello, Aisha. Thanks very much for that introduction. I'm certain I don't deserve much of what you said, but in the interest of time, I think I would like to go straight into a short description of some of the things that I had in the book, In Search of the Sacred Silk Cotton Tree. I'm looking for the slide on the.
Lion, remember it's streaming from the radio. So, Lion?
Yeah, okay. This picture encapsulates the darkness of this silk cotton tree in general. It is a picture of the graveyard in St. Philip's Anglican Church, and you can see the tree looks menacing over those graves. I can imagine that you would not allow your young son or daughter to go into that environment at night. But that the dread of the St. Cotton tree is one of the things which has passed down to many of the younger generation in the Caribbean islands, but also it's a tree which has roots in Mesoamerica as well as in Africa, West Africa. The tree is found throughout the latitudes of 10 degrees north to 10 degrees south. The ancients saw trees as universally powerful symbols, physical expressions of life, growth, and vigor, and the continuity of society and life over time. Some societies saw trees as links between earth and heaven. The St. Cotton tree is honored in several countries. It is the national tree of the following countries: Guatemala, Puerto Rico, Equatorial Guinea, Honduras, the Central African Republic. It is also featured on the flags of a number of countries, and I've illustrated just one, the flag of Equatorial Guinea. The St. Cotton tree was considered sacred by native peoples in West Africa, as well as by Mayans and other Amerindians in Central America. Some common names for the St. Cotton tree, whose scientific name is Ceiba pentandra, a member of the bombax family of trees. It's Cancan tree in Suriname, Kumaka tree in Jamaica, Guyana, Odum in Guyana, Fromage in Dominica, Doom in the Congo, Pochoti in Mexico, Mapu in Haiti, and the Ceiba tree in Latin America. The St. Cotton tree is a magnificent tree. We first really saw it in all its splendor in Africa some 20 years ago in Ghana, where a number of trees in a forest environment were well over 180 feet tall. This slide is just to show the variety, the range in the height of trees in various places. The leftmost picture is of at the Botanic Gardens in Ghana. That tree is almost 200 feet high and is over 200 years. There's a tree in Suriname in the middle, which is like 150 feet high. And then on the right-hand side, there is a tree, which would be a relatively big tree in Barbados at about 75 feet or so high. This is another tree, a majestic St. Cotton tree in Aburi Botanic Gardens in Ghana. Note the lianas, the other ecosystem, the ecosystem that is around the tree. There are various vines and so on growing on mostly mature trees in forest situations. And these have all sorts of small insects and lizards and tadpoles because the tree accumulates water as well. So the tree is an ecosystem in its own. Just for those who don't know, the pollination of the silk cotton tree is by bats during dusk and nighttime. And I think that some of you would have experienced bats flying through the cathedral or church at dusk time. It's possible that they might have flown from a silk cotton tree. And that is probably one of the reasons to why the tree is found to be so dread because of the association of bats with it. The pods are oblong, smooth, and light green. They burst open while still on the tree, but after leaves have fallen, expose the light cottony fluff in the April-May period, in the dry period. This picture shows the silk cotton, which is much lighter than the ordinary cotton from the cotton tree. Is very fluffy and is resistant to water and decay. Next slide. The silk cotton tree drops its leaves in the dry season, and it is full of leaves and so on in the other part of the year. Next. Long lifespans have been claimed for many silk cotton trees in many countries. In Curacao, the Hofi Pasta tree is over 600 years old. In Santo Domingo, the tree, which it is claimed that Christopher Columbus tied his bark onto when he landed for the first time in the West Indies. Is over 500 years old. In Antigua, there was, or perhaps there might still be, a hollow tree that many tourists visited. There's over 300 years. In Cuba, there's a silk cotton tree commemorating Havana that is over 400 years. There are some trees in Jamaica that are known to be over 300 years. In Veracruz, Mexico, there's a tree that Cortez was supposed to have landed close to. It's 400 years old. And in Tafrom, Cambodia, there's one that is over 600 years old. So silk cotton trees tend to grow for a very long time. This is just one picture that shows something of the longevity of silk cotton trees in Barbados. On the left is a picture of a silk cotton tree at Fort Denmark. The same tree at Fort Denmark we took pictures of in 2003. It is the same tree. It has roughly, it doesn't look much older, right? But around the tree, you can see where former works have vanished. Next slide, please. In Barbados, again, St. Mary's Church had a silk cotton tree that died in 1995. It was the infamous Justice Tree, on which a number of people were executed over the years between 1880 to, I'm not too certain when the executions would have stopped. Next slide, please. Commercial uses of the tree. The wood is relatively light, and hollowed out trunks were used by Caribbean people for making canoes, coffins, and cricket bats. In Ghana, plywoods are produced from the wood, which is also used for making stools, domestic utensils, wooden figures, drums, and coffins. Now, on the buttresses, you might have seen the buttresses on some of the pictures that I showed. The buttresses are made into doors, tables, and platters. Seeds are pounded and ground to a meal and used in soup or eaten after being roasted. Oil from the seeds is also used in edible products, in lubricants or in soaps. Animal feed is produced from ground seed. And the caper, the actual silk cotton, makes an excellent sound absorber for sound studios. Medicinal uses, it has a variety of medicinal uses. The bark is used to cure abdominal complaints, poisonings, as a general tonic, skin ointment, against malaria, to increase milk production in nursing mothers, to reduce fevers. The seeds, leaves, bark, and resin are used for dysentery, fevers, venereal diseases, asthma, menstruation bleedings, kidney diseases. The decoctions of leaves and fruit are used for a number of purposes. Silk cotton folklore in the diaspora. Now, this is the main thing that I wanted to look at, because there are a number of aspects of the folklore of the silk cotton. I think I mentioned before that the silk cotton trees are usually found in the tropics between the 10th degrees latitude. Next week. Silk cotton trees are generally considered to be the home of paranormal entities like ghosts, duppy, sukuan, lagables, steel donkeys, and so on in most islands of the West Indies. These entities are said to live in silk cotton tree hollows or buttresses during the day and come out at night to prey on the unwary. For protection in some countries, the householder is said to put sand around his house for the ghost to count the grains of sand. If it fails, it has to go back to its tree. These paranormal entities drink adults' blood, but are said to prefer small children's blood. Hence, you have the tales of Sukuyans stealing young children. Contemporary Caribbean peoples are essentially still wary of cutting down silk cotton trees to avoid offending, and usually leave them standing. Some Barbados folklore that we can mention. Cotton was one of the indigenous species growing here before the European and slave settlement. Most of the cotton trees were felled between 1627 and 1665 when the colonists were clearing the land for agriculture. Most present-day Barbadians have no knowledge of the tree itself or its reputation as a devil tree or a duppy tree. However, some people from Sitz village, which used to have an outstanding tree which died about two decades ago, that the tree there was known as the devil tree, and that there were tales of the devil riding a white horse with one horn on his head, around a white horse with one horn on his head around the tree. The variant of the devil tale was given by people who live in some other parts and near churches. Governor Sir William Robinson, sometime between 1880 to 1885, ordered the silk cotton tree at Government House to be cut down, and soon afterward his wife died. The sudden death was attributed to the heresy of destroying the silk cotton tree. Morissette reported that the Fitz village tree was the last place that poor Billy of folk song fame was seen before she went to Brazil. Certain Omfer could sing that for you. Millie go on to Brazil, The Justice tree was a silk cotton tree, which I had shown before. Next slide, please. These are some trees from some of the other islands. I made some idea, to give you some idea of the folklore. Opposite the picture was a cotton tree at Cabots National Park in Dominica. It's stated by Penelope Honeychurch that Caribs rarely use the floss and pillows because they feel their sleep would be affected. And the usual thing where people would not normally cut down a silk cotton tree except in March and May, the dry season, because the spirits were said to be absent during that time. Next slide, please. In Guyana, similar story with respect to not cutting down the tree. In the countryside in Guyana, silk cotton trees were said to be the homes of Dutchmen. The ghost Dutchman was the ghost of the original Dutch settlers. Next slide, please. In Jamaica, it's said that Spaniards buried treasure on the silk cotton trees and then killed the slaves who buried it. When slaves were ordered to cut down silk cotton trees, they would pour libations on the roots to protect themselves. Next slide, please. In Suriname, as one drives through Suriname, you can often pass groves of land being cleared. And in many cases, you see the silk cotton tree standing alone and proud. Trinidad, Port of Spain's original name was Q Mucurapo, the place of the silk cotton trees. And most silk cotton trees were cut down in Port of Spain on orders of Governor Picton in the 1790s. And that was after the Haitian Revolution. It is still a dominant tree in forest environments. In Trinidad, most people tend to understand and know something about silk cotton tree and its stories surrounding it. In Tobago, part of Trinidad, it is said that Gang Gang Sarah, and I think you're going to hear some more about Gang Gang Sarah tonight, an African witch who had flown from West Africa to live there, climbed a silk cotton tree in Lake Oto, Tobago, in her old age to fly back to Africa, but died when she launched off because she had eaten salt. Anne had promised that you will hear a little bit more about eating salt tonight, the effect that it has on people. In West Africa, silk cotton trees are regarded with reverence throughout West Africa. They're thought to be the dwellings of gods or spirits, and sacrifices of fowls or other animals are often seen between the buttresses. My son, Kofi, he visited a number of West African countries, and this is one picture from the slave memorial to celebrate the end of slavery, where there is a prominent silk cotton tree in the memorial park. The Uda Park. In Nigeria, at the Osogbo shrine, there is a silk cotton tree, I'm told by Kofi, right in the foreground. And behind it is a perigon tree, which is also a sacred tree. And then one can see the various fetishes which are in the shrine. This is just to show a very big silk cotton tree in a place called Monkey Silk cotton tree are found at forts. Here is one at 2 forts, Fort Denmark on the right, and the fort in near Bridgetown on the left. Next one. Yeah. Next one, please. One of the things that we found throughout our look at silk cotton trees research was that silk cotton trees seem to be very regularly found at religious sites in Barbados. But then when we checked, we found that it was also found at religious sites in a number of other places. Next slide. This is another tree at the St. Philip Parish Church. The trees there. There's another tree at, I think, the St. John's Church. This one is Old Sharon Graveyard, where there's a very old tree with a hollow and with a huge gall. And many of the very old trees have galls because of insect damage. In addition to Barbados, the cotton trees were also found associated with churches and graveyards in Suriname, Guyana, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, Haiti, Antigua, and Jamaica. This association seems to be common to the other islands. This is an old, next one, please. These are two more silk cotton trees. I think this one is in Antigua. This is one in Suriname, where it's by the Jewish cemetery in Suriname. Next one, please. This is an interesting tree. This one is in Haiti, in Bois-Cayman in Haiti, where it is claimed that the night before the 1791 uprising and revolution, that at this particular tree there was a voodoo ceremony held, which had the involvement of the sacrifice of a black pig before the revolution started. It's claimed that the 1791 bloody Haitian Revolution started after a Houngan, who is a voodoo priest, presided over a voodoo ceremony. That tree existed up to September 2003 when one of Kofi's friends took a picture of it near a voodoo shrine. The backstory is that a fundamentalist church built a new church near the area with the silk cotton tree to counteract its supposed satanic effect. Two priests, voodoo priests, then put a spell on the tree, but it did not really work too well. They were hoping that it would show the superiority of their religion, but the tree slowly died, and now the two Houngans are also dead. The picture that I showed you before showed was taken near to the site of the fundamentalist church. There was a widespread destruction of silk cotton trees in the Caribbean in the 1800s, and it is thought that much of this might be due to fears of slave uprisings modeled on the Haiti Revolution. For example, Trinidad, um, very soon afterwards, through Picton, um, destroyed most of the trees around Port of Spain. And even in Barbados, the Buster Revolution might have been inspired to some extent by the um, Haitian Revolution. This is in Coventry, far away. You're just seeing the roots. It's destroyed a church. It's in a place called Tafrom in Cambodia. Next slide, please. Here, it's two sacred trees, two important trees at Mayor and Olmec sites. You can see the mask down here, which is typical of the Olmecs. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, silk trees were sacred trees of the Indians of the New World, and they were here before settlement. These silk trees are very regularly seen around churches. We wonder if the early missionaries to the Caribbean have followed the policy of siting their churches on perceived holy sites with existing sacred trees. I think I'll finish there. What I hope I've been able to show you is the widespread nature of the beliefs about silk cotton tree. And I hope that this would inspire some people to do some more research, more definitive research on the silk cotton tree in the Caribbean and in Africa and other places where it exists. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Small. Thank you so much for sharing with us the history of the timeless, healing, nourishing, religious folklore of the silk cotton tree, and also bringing it home to Barbados, where you live. Thank you so much. Next up, we're going to meet Quincy Brown again. Quincy hails from the BRAC in the Cayman Islands. He is a well-known radio broadcaster, an actor, a singer, and a storyteller. He's a member of the International and Nancy Movement and the Cayman Islands International Storytellers Festival, Gimme Story. A member of the Roman Catholic congregation, he's a news presenter on the Cayman Christian music radio station, Big Fish 9.5 FM. And you can find them at www.bigfish955.ky. Welcome, Quincy, everyone.
Thank you. Wo yo yo yo, let we go. Wo yo yo yo, come let we go, let we go. Come gather round, my friends. We're telling stories this evening. Come gather round, my friends. We're telling stories this evening. Wo yo yo yo, wo yo yo yo. Come let we go, let we go. Crick, crack, monkey breaky back. Orumelaje, labe ubuntu bere. Orumelaje, papa, labe ubuntu bere. Orumelaje, labe ubuntu bere. Orumelaje, baba, labe ubuntu bere. Oh, that sacred silk cotton tree that means so very much to me, a reflection of my ancestry in slavery. Long time ago, when we was a little boy, my grandfather introduced me to the trees in Cayman. He said to me, grandson, this is a mango tree, Caribbean sweetness. This tree, grandson, is called a guinep tree. Sour sweet, mind you swallow the seed. And then he said, this is guava tree. Tasty fruit, while the leaf for peeing in your joints. So many delicious fruit trees on Grand Cayman, Cayman Brack, and Little Cayman. Then my grandfather introduced me to a tall, majestic, one of a kind, god-like tree called the silk cotton tree. So I say, as a little boy now, I say, well, grandfather, no fruits. He took a deep breath and he say, only cotton. Now, unlike the other trees, Dappies live under this tree, also known as the ceiba tree, or in Kimanbrak, as the Cuban cotton tree. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, I say kumbaya. Oh Lord, I say kumbaya. Kumbaya, Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. You see, the Tianos, the Taínos, Caribs, and the Mayas all agree on one thing, that the silk cotton tree is the most sacred tree. Grandfather tell me that Caymanian catboats were built other trees like pine wood and other kind of hardwood. But in other Caribbean islands, the native people would dig out the bark of cotton tree to make canoes. Well, we never done that here in Can because we from a different tribe of Africa, you see. But tribes from Guyana and Barbados and Jamaica, they would dig out the bark of the cotton tree to make canoes. We never did that. We use pine wood to make cat boats. Different story at different time. So the shaman out of respect always pour a little bit of white rum at the root of the to show respect and to show respect to the elders and sometimes to fair. You up and down the bark of the cotton to build a canoe to make sure the dogs there don't chew. So take little white rum. All right. Now, the root of the tree, near the ground of the roots of the cotton tree, they're said to be spirits and duppies, and they actually live inside the cotton tree because some of the barks are so big. It's like a garage or a little dining room inside a house. You can actually put people inside. So that the duppies live in the roots of the tree. Now, my grandfather tell me that he here on another Caribbean island, there was a silk cotton tree that was used as a hanging tree. Take these chains off of me. I don't want to be another seed under hanging tree. Everybody's praying for peace. Who's gonna protect us from the police? Take these chains off me. Hanging tree. So if that story is true then, if in this Caribbean island, this hanging tree, this cotton tree used for lynching and hanging slaves, well, sweet Jesus, Holy Mary, Mother of God, no wonder the damn tree haunted then. That's why we have duppies haunting that particular cotton. It makes sense to me. The silk cotton tree was planted here by our African ancestors. However, the tall silk cotton tree up Spot Bay, Kimmanbrack, in a yard called Grandma Caroline Yard, Mr. Temp now live there, eh? That tall cotton tree on the Bracken Spot Bay was actually planted from a seed that came from Cuba. Adil gone to Cuba. He gone about 2 weeks and leave his darling Julia with tears rolling down her cheeks. Song by Andre Hides, Caymanian drummer with us. Not too many women you see playing African drum. Our Aunt Julia was a female drummer, gone but not forgotten. And the prior song I sang was by Elijah Blake, Hang Tree. So the old time and Brackers, where I come from, Brack in the Cayman Islands, the old timers, yes, we old time Caymanians used to stuff our pillows with kapok. The kapok, or the silk cotton, comes from the tree. Hammocks and clothes could also be made by others, Tainos, tribe. But what a tree gave a good shade. You hear what? What a tree gave a magnificent shade. People would stop and rest under the tree because, some weary traveler, either traveling by foot or traveling by donkey, so they would stop and take a rest. The silk cotton tree, my grandfather tell me, got enough medicinal purposes. You got headache, you want that with the belly, you got blood pressure, you can boil the leaf, boil the bark, you can do all kind of things. We're gonna hear more from Dr. Anthony about that. Oh yeah, he's a professional. The silk cotton tree has been is in radio we say, I'll read line again. Let's take it from the top. The silk cotton tree has considerable cultural significance across the Caribbean region. Gather round the tree for praise and worship. Just yesterday in Georgetown, Grand, the Christian community gathered in the lawns of the government building on Elgin Avenue, protest same-sex marriage. They get under the cotton tree. The cotton tree attracts people, you see. So gather around the cotton tree for praise and worship, right? The Holy Spirit moving just like a magnet. The Holy Spirit moving just like a magnet. Rituals, revelations, revival, and cumin. All of these our ancestors would gather on tree to praise, worship, and to celebrate. Now, on a member tall cotton tree by Old Fort George in the water from Georgetown, Grandman. Yes, them days it was used as a lookout point during World War. Yes, there was a lookout house built way up the top of that cotton tree right there by Fort George on the waterfront. Miss Georgette Banks' husband, Mr. Nathan, was the watchman up in the tree. One night he went to work. Late at night, he up in that cotton tree keeping watch, when all of a sudden this heavy presence come over him. No one was there. He could see no one, but somebody pushed him out of the cotton tree and he fall and he broke his arm. That's why from that day they called him Nathan Cotton Tree. But you see, my grandfather tell me clean and straight, should not go near or under a cotton tree at night time. But that was Mr. Nathan's job, you see, be up in the cotton tree keeping watch, right? You're supposed to go near cotton tree at night time. Silk cotton tree known to walk and talk after dark. Silk cotton tree known to walk and talk during midnight. Mind you catch it. No one is never ever cut down a silk cotton tree. You hear what I tell you? Listen carefully. No one is ever never supposed to cut down a silk cotton tree because it's sacred, standing tall, witnessing centuries of history. Oh, sacred silk cotton tree that means so very much to me, a reflection of my ancestry in slavery. Question: why is silk cotton tree considered to be sacred? Because our African slaves felt that their ancestors lived in the branches of the tree to this day. And look at bad follow anyone who attempts to cut it down. You cannot cut the cotton tree. My good friend from Spot Bay, Andel Dix, 86 years old, and she told me, Years ago, they had a neighbor who was very miserable, a very miserable lady. And they, oh, I gotta cut down that tree. It's a nuisance. Every time it's in season, all the cotton is coming over here. I'm trying to cook my food. It coming through the window and getting in my pot. All the cotton on my clothes and sticking. So the neighbor said, cut down the tree. Cut down that cotton tree. But Adele family said, no, it's been planted for so many years. The neighbor just insisted, up it down, cut it down. You all harassing me. All you are nuisance to me as a neighbor. Eventually, law got involved, police got involved, so it was decided that the tree would be cut down. So the miserable old lady next door feel like she win. They're chopping down the tree, don't bother me no more. So they start chop and chop and chop the tree. And the lady living next door, through her back door with a sense of pride. Yes, this tree getting chopped down. And they put the last chop and the silk cotton tree dropped. The old lady looking out your window drops in time. Died of massive heart attack. I warn you, do not chop down the sacred cotton tree. Other story is Adele had a great aunt who wanted boys. Dole and it chopped down a tree. So she said, I am going to Florida for a few weeks. I have to go to Florida to check on my health with my doctor. In the meantime, when I come back out my yard to clean young boys, will pay you young boys, trapping young boy, my nephews. I will pay you. Sit down. So when I return to Florida by Spot Bay, anyway, Dan Dole, teenage boy, 17, 18, making a little money from granite, decides to chop. And by the third chop, somebody come run. Hey, stop. We just get news by telegram from Florida that grand aunties met with a terrible car accident on the streets of Florida. You hear what I tell you? Do not chop down a silk cotton tree. Bad and harm will follow you. And as I bring story to an end, another story Adele tell me. Adele didn't say, she'll never forget, it was a Good Friday. And those in Christendom will know the significance of Good Friday. A rock from the bluff, because they live under the bluff spot, piece of rock must have off the bluff, accidentally, Mother Nature, and it actually popped the silk cotton tree. Now, it broke her in half, but it hit it in such a way that it wounded the silk cotton tree. And the hour was 3 o'clock on Good Friday, the hour of great mercy, and gushed forth from the body of the silk cotton tree was something red like blood. Never before, never seen again. And they'll tell me that story. Guruka, manjaro, awalufe, awabojule, Guruka manjaro, Guruka manjaro, awalufe, awabojule, Guruka manjaro. And bringing the story to an end, in 2004, Hurricane Ivan blew through the Caribbean. Hurricane Ivan mashed up Grenada bad. All our brothers and sisters. But it come to Grand Cayman and mashed we up bad too. But within a year's time, you'd never even know that Ivan came by. The advantages of being British and having me, I suppose. The point I'm saying is Ivan mash up bad. It mash up Grand Cayman bad. And I remember sitting inside Radio Cayman, which is to the rear of the government glass house. And myself and Jared Cole, we watched the silk cotton tree, which is still there, mind you, to today. I saw her up yesterday. The silk cotton tree is blowing. There's a lot of wind to make a cotton move. And she bend until she up in half. I witnessed this September the 12th, 2004, as a radio broadcast looking out through the window of the radio station. And oh my goodness, the cotton gone, boy. Anyway, to abbreviate the story, Ivan owned us for 3 days, September 11th, 12th, and 13th. When Ivan gone, we had to deal with the aftermath, the cleaning of the island. And the silk cotton tree known to have a voice called the Whooping Way. And cleaning up the debris, cleaning up the trees. They pass by the silk cotton tree, and all we can hear is, save me, save me, save me. Everybody look around, we don't see anybody. We have to save human life, obviously. But it was the silk cotton tree called out to whoever would listen to save me. And this is a true story, because I love telling Nancy's story, but this is no Nancy's story. The government decided, as they're cleaning up the island, take the half of the tree, of the silk cotton tree that pop in half, and they brought it back, set the pop of half of the tree on to the other half tree, and they braced the tree with all sorts of bracing and all sorts of wood. And for 10 years, from 2004 to 2014, we would always drive by. You drive by the government building and you see this cotton tree all braced up. By 2014, when they took off the wraps and they took off the short braces and wood, that silk cotton tree had healed herself. It took her 10 years, but today, if you go to Georgetown, the government and building is next to the glass house, that silk cotton tree is there. I want to ask you to respect the silk cotton tree, how it reminds me of my ancestry. And if why ever been, story couldn't end. Ay, yay, yay. Orumelaje.
Well done, Quincy. Well done. The silk cotton tree. Do not interfere with the silk cotton tree. Quincy, well done, well told, well put together. You were made for this. You were made for this. Where did you go? Before we get back to Quincy, we have a problem with the mics. Guys, please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Okay, we have our mics mute. Thank you very much, Quincy. And there is more where that came from. So Storytelling Night on Rampoon Radio is alive. Next, we want to check in with the motherland. Just check in with the motherland for a little bit. Mr. Mawuli. Mr. Mawuli, mute for me, Carolyn.
Here.
Okay, only persons that not supposed to be, should be unmuted is just myself and Mr. Mawuli from the motherland. Mr. Mawuli, how's it going so far?
Great, I'm enjoying it, every bit of it.
You're enjoying every bit of it. Is there any similarities with the stories in Ghana?
Yes, yes, especially around the medicinal values of the tree. Very, 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 very symbolic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what we were told in the height of the slave trade, because the silk cotton tree was so tall, a lot of slaves were chained around the trees. So it was very easy for you to identify a slave market by looking out for the tall tree. So when you see a tall tree, you know that slaves are probably being chained around the market, and you can easily walk in and see a slave market. Also, we were also told that it became, again, because of the height, it was a kind of compass for us to be able to see directions. You be able to see, if you see that tall tree, that silk cotton tree became a compass for you to be able to find your way home when you get lost as well. But there are still a couple of silk cotton trees here. They still serve the same medicinal purpose. They still have all these stories around being harbor of spirits and evil spirits and the likes. But it is very, very interesting, and I see the similarities. I'm so grateful for sharing this with you all.
Thank you. So the motherland is alive and well and waiting for us to return.
Absolutely.
Oh, I am looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that. Ghana would be my next stop. So thank you, Mr. Mawuli.
Thank you.
Continue to enjoy as we continue to share.
Sure.
So Ray, I'll turn you over to Ms. Worm again. Aisha?
Right. So thank you so much. I'm still reeling from Quincy Brown in the Brack of Cayman. And from Ghana, Mr. Mubuli, thank you all so much for sharing those stories with us. Now we're going to hear from the kiddos. You know, we're going to ask the little kids, Amma Small, to come on up. Amma, are you ready?
Amma and Sari Green.
Amma and Sari, are you guys ready? All right, I see you, Sari.
Just a little bit, just to know a little bit about Amma and Sari Green. They're 9 years old. They're both 9 years old. They're both artistic, smart, and you can see princesses. These are the real princesses, guys. This is what princesses supposed to look like. They are into the arts. They're into, I think Sari have competed in NIFCA. That's the National Cultural Competition in Barbados. And they have played. Sari competed in the drums. And Amma, her group competed with singing. Sari wrote a poem, and you guys should hear it. You can check it out on Facebook and YouTube. Sari, tell us the name of your poem. You need to unmute, Sari. Okay. Everyone remain muted. Sari, Sari?
What makes you this?
Karen, you need to mute.
But she's on mute.
Sari, you are muted. Unmute.
She just unmuted.
Okay. Everyone else needs to be muted except Amma and Sari's. Okay, keep it muted because there's an interruption and a feedback. Please work with us. Sari, what's the name of the poem that you wrote? What is it? I'm black and I like it, sure. What's the name of your poem? Can you say that again?
I'm black and I like it.
I am black and I like it. And Amma also did a piece. Amma, what's the name of your piece?
The name of my piece is What Black Means to Me.
Okay. So this evening, these two 9-year-olds have come together to share with you the Gang Gang Sarah story. Go ahead.
The Gang Gang Sarah story.
Sarah, you need to be muted in the meantime. Okay, go ahead, Amma.
The Gang Gang Sarah story.
Sarah, still muted. Sarah, still muted.
Written by Mila Luna. One very stormy night. 200 years ago, a beautiful woman who came to be known as Gang Gang Sarah was blown from her home in Africa across the sea to Tobago and landed quite safely at the village of Lake Cote. From there, she went in search of her family, who had long ago been transported across the Atlantic as slaves. She became the trusted housekeeper of Grandfather Peter, a so-called kindly plantation owner, and married Tom, whom legend says she had known as a child in her native Africa. Gang Gang Sarah lived to a great age and is remembered for her wisdom and kindness. After her Tom had died, wishing to return to her native land, she climbed a large silk cotton tree on the plantation to make her launch. it was to be a fatal decision. However, since her reputed power of flight and necromancy had been lost when she violated a time-worn dictum of Obeah and ate food with salt, Sarah perhaps was not aware of the loss of her powers and fell from the branches and died. She was buried next to the tomb in the plantation cemetery, which still exists now at what is now called Culloden. It is said that Grandfather Peter is also buried there.
Near the former estate, now a small village, stands the same silk cotton tree that which Sarah had fallen. According to the legend, this tree said to have been planted by African slaves. It's the largest of its kind on the island and is well known for its many legends. The tree dominates its surroundings and provides ample shade to the area, but there is a noticeable glow emanating from its presence. Despite the activities of numerous tiny birds around its branches, one can almost sense the heavy sadness that Gang Sarah must have felt as she failed in her attempt to return to her homeland.
Gang Sarah's silk cotton tree was considered sacred by the African slaves who believed the spirits of their ancestors lived in its branches. To this day, it is still valued as a place of...
Go ahead, sorry. Nelson, please mute your mic. Go ahead, sorry.
To this day, it is still valued as a place of reverence.
Unmute now, sorry. I muted everyone. Go ahead, sorry. Unmute. Only sorry, unmute, please.
To this day, it is still valued as a place of reverence.
The end.
What a beautiful piece, Amma and Sahari, telling us about the gang tree. Well done. You guys did a really, really great job. Thank you. Now we're going to leave Barbados and journey on over to the Spice Isle, Grenada, to meet Astrid Mitchell. Astrid is an experienced web content writer with articles appearing on such sites as about.com and e-zines like Underdog Online and Classic Movies Guide. She enjoys doing research, so the accuracy of content is always assured. Astrid earned 4 diplomas in writing, 3 for beginner and advanced courses at the Institute of Children's Literature, and 1 for writing for adults from the Long Ridge Writing Group. These courses prepared her for the freelance world with its stringent deadlines and the demand for high quality. She's highly motivated and customer focused and will work along with you to make sure your needs are met. Astrid is an exceptional writer with a deep love for the written, which began somewhere in elementary school. Astrid is a mother, a wife, a granddaughter, a banker, friend, and storyteller. Welcome again, Astrid Mitchell.
Thank you, Aisha. So my story is called The Buried Treasure. Long ago, on the small island of Grenada, there was a tiny settlement known as River Road. Most of the settlers were washerwomen. They plied their trade along the banks of the St. John's River, near the mouth where it flowed into the sea. The river plain was very fertile. One of the washerwomen, Maria, acquired a plot of land under the shade of a giant silk cotton tree. There she grew corn, peas, and sweet potatoes. It was backbreaking work, but it fed her son and allowed her to send him to school. As Maria's son grew older, she hoped he would help her on the farm, but he would not lift a finger. Every morning, she would wake him up and ask him to go to the farm with her, but he protested. "No, too early to go and work the land, Mommy," he would say. "I still growing. I need my sleep." "Still growing, William," Maria would retort. "You're almost 20 years old." But he would roll over and pull the covers over his head. So Maria continued day after day, tilling the soil, planting her crops and harvesting them. But she worried about her son. But no matter how hard she tried, he would not come to the farm with her. Maria was a religious woman, and she always prayed for her son. She often went to midday mass on her market days. One day she told her troubles to the priest. Father Edward was a wise old man from Carriacou, one of the first locals ordained to the priesthood. He listened to Maria's plight and gave her an idea. That night, Maria spoke to her son. "I sail into Trinidad tomorrow to do an operation," she said. "Operation?" William echoed. "But you never said you were sick. How long you going for?" "It could be a long time," said Maria. "I have to wait for the cut to heal before I can travel back. It might be for some months." "But what about me?" said William. "What are you going to eat when you're not there?" "I have a secret to tell you," said Maria. "Long, long ago, only the Kalinago people lived on this island. Did you learn about them in school?" "Yes," said William. "But what does that have to do with anything? The Kalinago people go feed me while you're in Trinidad?" "Listen to me, William," said Maria. "A Frenchman named Pierre Dupaquet bought the island from the Kalinago. He came up the river and he buried a treasure close to the silk cotton tree. That was to be the last payment for the island. But he and the Kalinago chief had a falling out and they went to war. The Kalinago ended up killing the slave who buried the treasure, and his spirit guards it to this day. That slave's name was Basil. They say his spirit lives in the silk cotton tree." William burst out laughing. "So how come you never find it, Mommy? I show you dig up that whole field," he said. "The man who sold me the land said only one worthy can break the spell of Basil," said Maria. "Do you think you're worthy?" William fell quiet, lost in thought for the rest of the night. He would never admit it to his mother, but the silk cotton tree scared him to death. William had never heard about the buried treasure. That was news to him. What he had heard was that the devil lived inside the tree. People who practiced obia would come to the tree and make deals with the devil. He had also heard that Lugaru and Sukuya took flight from such trees. He knew the legend of Gangang Sarah, an African witch. Sarah had launched herself from a silk cotton tree in Tobago, but fell to her death because she had eaten salt. William remembered racing past the tree on his way home from school every day. One night, his mommy had sent him to the shop. On his way back, he thought he saw a man waving him towards the tree. William got so frightened, he peed his pants. He took the long route home, going over Old Fort and coming down the steps in Sanssouci. The next morning, William had realized that it was only a banana tree swaying in the wind. Still, the tree frightened him, even now, and it was part of the reason why he never helped his mother on the farm. Maria left for Trinidad the next day, and William had to fend for himself. He lazed around for a few days. Then the day came when William had nothing to eat. His mother had left no money, and he could not think of a way to feed himself. He had always had a full stomach, and that night the hunger pangs were unbearable. Mommy didn't used to dig deep enough, he thought to himself. If I dig for a few hours, then I could find the treasure. I will have plenty to eat and I'll be a rich man. I will never have to work. William set off for the field, hoping to find the buried treasure. He dug, and after a few days, he had turned up every bit of the field. But William didn't find the treasure. He became dejected. The spirit of Basil must think I'm not worthy, he thought. What will I do now? As William trudged home that evening, he saw Father Edward making his rounds in the village. "How are you, my son?" said Father Edward. "Your mother told me to check on you while she's gone." William told him the story about the buried treasure, leaving out the part about Basil. He didn't think the priest would approve of a spirit guardian. "Well, since you already dug up the field," said Father Edward, "why don't you plant some corn and peas in it? You can go to the penny bank and borrow some money. Get lettuce seeds and carrot seeds and some other short crops as well. What do you think?" William thought that was a splendid idea. He found the corn and pea seeds that his mother had saved from last year. William also got a small loan as father had advised. He bought lettuce and tomato seeds and watermelon and cantaloupe. Over the next few days, he sowed the seeds, and when the rains came, they sprouted and grew. He worked hard to take care of the crops. A few weeks went by, and he was able to harvest the lettuce and tomatoes. He sold them to the Islander Hotel. They were so impressed that they gave him a contract to continue supplying them. When he reaped the watermelon and cantaloupe, he sold those to the Islander Hotel as well. William had never felt more satisfied in his life. His hard work had paid off, and his little farm was prospering. "I was searching for buried treasure, but I found something even better," he thought. "The land is the treasure. If I continue to farm it, me and Mommy will never be in need again. I wish she was here." William was in for a surprise. As he thought that, who should he see getting out of a taxi? "Mommy," he shouted, "you come back. I'm so happy to see you." Maria was beaming from ear to ear. "I see you were working the land," she said. "When I passed it, I asked the taxi driver who plant all them thing on it, and he say it's you. I'm so happy." Maria settled back in quickly. A few days later, she asked William for some of the produce, and she packed it in a basket and brought it to Father Edward. "Thank you for helping me with my son," she said. "Now he knows the value of hard work, and he has turned into quite a smart businessman." "You're welcome, Maria," said Father. It was important for William to learn that God helps those who help themselves. The story ends and the wire bend.
Want a pen?
I want a pen to write my linen. Thank you, Astrid, for sharing the original piece about Maria and her son, William. Thank you. Beautiful. And now we leave Grenada and head on over to Antigua, where we meet the biochemist again, the original OBM man, Dr. Anthony Richards. Dr. Richards, welcome.
Good day. How is everybody? Time is running on, so I am just going to show you a couple of things that I brought along. One of the things that people often do is call the silk cotton tree a sandbox tree, right? And sometimes they call the sandbox tree a silk cotton tree. So I wanted to just take a minute and point out some differences. Okay, well, here's the leaf of the silk cotton tree, right? It's called, the scientific name is Ceiba pentandra. This is the silk cotton tree leaf. And over here is the leaf of the sandbox tree, right? It's quite a different leaf with one point at one end. It's a roundish leaf. And the silk cotton leaf looks very much like a hand, see? All right, both trees are quite large. Right? Both trees have spines running up the trunk and along the branches. And both trees have the pet name, monkey no climb, monkey no climb. And because both trees are quite prominent in the neighborhood, people sometimes mix them up. So when you go out looking for silk cotton trees, you're often pointed to sandbox trees. The sandbox tree, of course, is the one that produces a fruit called the sandbox, which was in the past used to make jewelry. All right. Now the silk cotton tree is very closely related to another giant tree. The other giant tree is the baobab tree. This is a leaf of the baobab tree. And both plants sometimes classified as belonging to the family bombax or bombax for these giant trees. These days, scientists tend to classify them in a huge family that includes bombax and ochros. So this is an okra leaf here. And you can kind of see some of the similarities between an okra leaf and a silk cotton leaf here and a baobab leaf. One thing that all three have in common is that they contain a lot of slime. And so if you don't have any okra to turn your cuckoo or turn your fungi, you can always boil some okra leaf. And if you don't have any okra leaf, you can turn to your baobab or your silk cotton leaf. And in fact, right, in many parts of Africa, one of these two is used in exactly that way, like an okra substitute to provide the smoothing gel, which makes starchy food go down more smoothly. So that's just a little interlude. In the season when there are leaves, people pick them, take them to the market and sell them green. And then they also dry and grind them up. And in the dry season, people buy the powder. So that's a little thing about the difference between sandbox and silk cotton. Now, I want to tell you one other thing before ending. And somebody asked me to talk about salt. You heard the story of Gangan Sarah a number of times, and there are persistent rumors of people who used to be able to fly around, people who came directly from Africa, and while they were here in the Caribbean, were able to fly around. And not only those, but other people who had superpowers were said to have a taboo that they must not eat salt, right? You eat salt, then people say, boy, you salt. Or in Antigua, they say, boy, you sal. Okay? So what's this salt thing about? Well, the Maroons in Suriname kind of help to clarify things a bit. They have to live in the deep forest in order to avoid the slavers who were trying to hunt them. And so they had to produce their own salt, being very far from the sea. And their salt was made by burning other plants to form an ash, especially water plants, to form an ash. And this black salt is what they use to season their food and keep themselves healthy. The Maroons tell us not to eat the white man's salt or you will lose your powers. This actually echoes what happened in the Congo when white salt first arrived there. Traditionally, the Congos seasoned their food with salt from the river made from burning river plants. When the sodium chloride, white sodium chloride first came, it was not iodized, and it caused an epidemic of goiter across the Congo, right? Goiter became endemic in the Congo. So those are just two of the things I wanted to say about the silk cotton tree stories and the salt stories. So over to you, Miss Worm.
Thank you, Dr. Richards. Thank you for explaining and showing us how we could identify and distinguish between the silk tree, the sand tree, the leaves of the other trees, and that important important ingredient in blocking the effects of power against you. When the little girl want to come in, you sprinkle the salt. So thank you very much. Now, yes, there's no reason we can't fly around the Caribbean, because guess what? We're heading on over to Grand Bahama, where we're going to meet Don Verria Duncombe. And Don Verria is the lovely Don Verria, and she's going to share her stories in the Bahamas with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes. Yes.
All right. All right. Once upon a time was a merry old time. The monkey chewed tobacco and he spit white lime. Now, once upon a time on Cat Island, an island way down south of the Bahamas, there lived the most handsome man in the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas. His name was Mr. Roll. Mr. Roll was so handsome. All of the women who had daughters of marriageable age used to send everything that they could to get Mr. Roll to marry their daughters. You had Miss Sally, she used to send him cakes every week. You had Miss Lucy, she could have baked the best coconut tart and benny cake that there ever was. Now, because Mr. Roll was so handsome, his outside did not match his inside. His head was swollen times 10 and he was very arrogant. It was very common for Mr. Roll to propose to several women several times a month. Two of those women even made it up to the church steps. But Mr. Roll didn't show up. His excuse was they was far too ugly for him to breed and have children with. One girl, she ended up in bed for the entire week because Mr. Roll said her hair was too picky, her eye was goggle like fish, and her heel was hard. Boy, did she cry. Now his Grammy that raised him say, boy, you can pick, and you can pick, and you can pick until you pick a needle without eye. Mr. Roll did not listen. Now, shortly after the Grammys warning, one day, a woman and her mother mysteriously waltzed into the town. Nobody know where they come from. Now, some people say they come from the southern settlement. Other people say, no, they have to be from Nassau, the capital. Look at that nice lace dress what they wearing. But wherever they was from, they were very beautiful, but very strange. They only woke up and they left for the entire day and didn't come back until the sun set. They never used to go conking. They never used to go fishing. They never used to go farming. Nobody even know how they used to eat. Mr. Roll didn't care. As soon as you could say hurricane season gone, he was done married to the daughter. Everything was going fine. He was walking around the neighborhood. Look at me. I soon have a son, and he can be very handsome, just like me, and my family can be set. My wife look good, I look good, and I soon have my son on my arm. Unfortunately, to Mr. Roll's surprise, there was no son. And the people in the neighborhood started to wonder, this is the same Mr. Roll who said soon he can have a son. He was very unhappy. On top of that, he noticed the wife and the mother-in-law's strange behavior. They would get up early and they would not return until the sun set. He used to threaten, he used to kick, I can throw y'all out this house, and they still didn't listen. So one day he decided to go down to Mama Frida, the local Obeah woman. So he went to her and she set up her pipe. She said, you know what? Bring me back 2 strands of your wife hair and 1 strand of her dress, her favorite dress. So he rushed down to the house. He got the items and returned back to Mama Frida. She prepared a nice pot of water, threw some bay leaf in it, and she fell into a deep trance. She was in that trance so long, Mr. Roll thought that she was dead. Then all of a sudden she piped up. When the pond plunga, plunga, meet for secret, plunga, plunga, meet for golden, plunga, plunga. Oh, all of a sudden the smoke flew up in the air and this big, black, ugly bird swirling around swooped down and crunched the crabs in his beak. Oh, Lord, oh, boy, you're an old fool. You married a golden. That ain't no woman, that's a big, black, ugly bird. Now, only because me and your Grammy was good friends, even though he was an old stupid fool, I can help you out because me and her born the same day. Now listen carefully to what you have to do. She took a long rope and she tied 7 knots into the rope. She wrapped it around his waist as a belt and she said, boy, whatever you do, don't take this rope off. When you go home, sprinkle some salt around them and throw some bay rum over them and run back quickly to me. As soon as he got home and he saw his beautiful, darling wife laying down asleep, he said, these old people need to stop smoking this funny pipe. After that, all night he tossed and he turned. He tossed and he turned, thinking about the vision of his beautiful wife turning into a big ugly bird. He decided, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to follow them to see exactly what they do all day. So as soon as he saw his wife got up and she got out of the house, he rushed behind her. He rushed to the field. He rushed all the way down to the lake under the silk cotton tree. And there he saw his mother-in-law and his wife standing in the middle of the lake. At first they were still, and then the sky became gray, and all of a sudden, big, black, ugly birds began swarming around him and swooping down and picking their clothes apart one by one. Then out came a beacon, out grew the wings, and out grew their legs. And lo and behold, it was the garland. Mr. Roll couldn't contain himself no more. Oh! He screamed in horror. They flew up into the air and discovered him there. They swooped down and plucked his eyes out and scooped him up in his beak, and they flew away. Now the old people say Mr. Roll and his wife gone foreign, which I guess could be partially true. Biddy Bo Band, I reached the end. I'll never tell a lie like that again.
Thank you for that really colorful story. I sure if you were around back then, you were going to be presented as a prospective wife, wouldn't you? I think so. Right, so thank you for that lovely story. Okay, and so we're going to hop on over now to the UK, where we're going to meet Lisa Levi, who was raised in Trinidad from Dominican and Grenadian parents. Welcome, Lisa. Lisa, please unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, please.
Okay. There we go. So it's all about the silk cotton tree. And we've heard of Gang Gang Sarah before. So I'm going to tell you a story about Gang Gang Sarah. It's called The Ballad of Gang Gang Sarah. And it carries on from what the very young ladies told us about Gang Gang Sarah and the silk cotton tree in Tobago. And it's believed that to this day, that silk cotton tree is still standing, and it's believed that under its branches, the spirit of Gang Gang Sarah still lives. So this is a reworking of the story. Gang Gang Sarah is the sea breeze. Gang Gang Sarah is the wind. Gang Gang Sarah is the whisper on Golden Lane. Gang Gang Sarah was a spirit child, and in her homeland she could fly, but she get blown far from home on a starless, stormy night, across the seas on the wind to the village Lekoto, where she and her big Tom met, and love did surely grow. But sorrow cry, love was denied. Owner Peter come to stay. One look at Sarah and he decide to have her and steal away to Golden Lane. Tom returned home to find his love gone and follow his love to claim. But owner Peter had him arrested to execute in Golden Lane jail. Gang Gang Sarah is the sea breeze. Gang Gang Sarah is the wind. Gang Gang Sarah is the whisper on Golden Lane. When Sarah here, Tom get captured. She make a bad bargain that day. She knows she could fly, and so for love's life, say yes. With owner Peter, she go stay. As long as Storm was spared death, she would eat the feast that was laid. And biding her time, she agreed to dine, to seal the deal she made. One sad rule for Sarah though, for her spirit powers to persist. No salt, by accident or plan, could dare to pass her lips. And owner Peter smiled when Sarah realized salt was in the rice and fish. And owner Peter smiled when Sarah cried, because she know she get tricked. Gang Gang Sarah is the sea breeze. Gang Gang Sarah is the wind. Gang Gang Sarah is the whisper on Golden Lane. Tom, big Tom, hear Sarah call. I know deep down love done lost. Yet day after day he watched the village, come wind or sunshine or storm. And Sarah see him there, year after year, and whisper to him of her love, and promise to meet him again in Lake Oto, though all her powers was gone. Till finally the day come, owner Peter pass away. The earth and the moon align. A mighty great wind blow down the hill, and once more Sarah could fly over shore and trees to find her lost Tom and sit at the riverside. And now she's the breeze, the whisper in the trees. Gang Gang Sarah of Golden Lane. Gang Gang Sarah is the sea breeze. Gang Gang Sarah is the wind. Gang Gang Sarah is the whisper on Golden Lane. Wire Ben, story end.
And I want a pen to write.
To write Menenen. Thank you very much, Lisa, for showing us that Gang Gang Sarah could fly again. Thank you. All right.
You're very welcome.
We're getting close to the end, and now we're going to go back to Barbados, Little England, to hear from Dr. Editha Nancy Ferguson Jacobs. She's a historian, and she's going to give us a brief synopsis of the transatlantic, to commemorate the transatlantic slave trade. Dr. Jacobs, Nancy, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Lovely. Please continue.
Thank you. My people never left Africa. They brought it with them piece by piece. But us had to hide it hard from the deadly oppressor. We hid it so hard that we hid it from ourselves. But we finding it as we hid it, piece by piece. By Kolonji Olusegun, 1995. Today commemorates the International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and the Abolition. But the significance of that day may escape many of us. Black people held a self-image that caused them to constantly resist slavery. And they waited the opportune time to demonstrate their collective resistance. Hence, the slave rebellion of Saint-Domingue started in 1791 when free coloreds were deprived of their right to citizenship. Slaves joined the revolt where the free coloreds and the enslaved together outnumbered the whites 10-1. So on the Monday night and Tuesday, which spanned August 22nd and 23rd, 1791, rebels in the French colony started a revolution, a phenomenon in itself. That night, according to legend, the gods honored the offerings and prayers in the Bois ceremony and answered them in the thunder and the lightning of a raging storm. Remember Boukman, Dessalines, and Toussaint Louverture, these men who made the rebellion into a revolution, keeping to the motto, liberty ou mort. So after 13 years, the self-emancipated Haitians eventually defeated two of the best armies in Europe, Napoleon's French army and the British, and thus created the first Black Republic in the New World in 1804. The only instance of a successful slave rebellion in world history. During that 400 years of separation from Africa, in our homes across the Atlantic, this creativity is a constant in the construction of stories and storytelling interspersed with the visual metaphors we know today as proverbs. In an age before modern technology, when entertainment was a gathering of the children after work around the village storyteller, who held you spellbound with imagery and songs and music and performance. So much information was passed on through the wisdom and experience of these griots, whose stories became the life lessons etched in the memory and the psyche of these children, who drew on these lessons all through their adult life. New stories were invented to maintain the moral fabric of the society through necessity to combat, correct, or heal problems as the community required. The African slave trade and slavery resulted in a traumatic separation of peoples from their land and cultures, as they left with only intangible evidence of their origins. The appropriation of objects and remembered life experiences played an important role in reconnecting Africans with Africa, wherever they were. Hence, the reconstruction and reenactment of known African traditions became a necessary vehicle to reconnect with an Africa prior and subsequent to the Holocaust of slavery. The reenactment of traditions initially was a combination of a physical and a spiritual activity, which obtained a cathartic cleansing and revitalizing effect. Each ritual occasion of the reenactment provided the continuous therapy needed to cope with everyday life, and at the same time, attain some redemption or purge from the horrors and psychological trauma of slavery that all Africans and their descendants carry as baggage today. In Haiti, the central post of the Voodoo's ceremonial space acts as a vertical link between the earth, the sky, and the underworld, and thus the worlds of the lower, or spirits, and human beings connected and made manifest. The loco, the name given to the great tree, the symbol for the center of the world in Guinea. It is a great tree with its branches above and its roots in Guinea, draws up the spirits from their homes in Africa, which is seen to lie on the other side of this world, among the waters below the earth. Guinea is the sacred world of Haiti's past that is present in the dances oriented to the portal, and the Homsi saying to Agwe, the lower of the sea, to come from his home below the waters in Dahomey. It is documented that slavers used such a great tree, like the one spoken of tonight, the sacred silk cotton tree, Siba, to psychologically traumatize the Africans at the start of their forced migration. For prior to being carried on board ship, the enslaved Africans were forced to walk 7 times around a great tree in a clockwise direction, which was to cause them to forget Africa. Ashe, if I forget thee, O Africa, may my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you, Dr. Jacobs. We're winding it down, brilliant, on point, and it's something that I think we needed to hear and we needed to know now. You know, sometimes we tend to take the experience of the transatlantic slavery, you know, a little too passive. Imagine going around the silk cotton tree, forgetting your tongue, forgetting your language. We can afford to let that happen. We are who we are.
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Jacobs. And guys, we're winding down. We're winding down. Together we are strong. We are so powerful together. Today we're doing something for the first time. We're going to be showing you a video with all the salt and all the garland and all the stories that we had. We're going to show you a video with Caribbean freedom fighters, right? Because if you had paid attention to what Dr. Jacobs said, Haiti was the first successful revolution anywhere. They fought for their freedom and they more or less provided freedom for the world. So today, I want to say thank you, Haiti, and thank you for making the pledge that Black people must be free and that you would welcome every Black person today to Haiti. And then you're still paying the price because even as we speak, we know that the tropical storm is passing over Haiti, right? So we got to remember our Haitian brothers in prayer. And as the brazen brother from Trinidad, Haiti, what's his name? Haiti, I'm sorry. Says, Haiti, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Haiti. I'm sorry. So I'm going to turn you over to Rampoon Radio, Brother George, as he shows that video.
Yeah, big brother.
Lion, is the video showing? Somebody can tell us what's happening on the Facebook feed?
Yeah, it is.
Or Rampoon Radio? Mr. Thomas, can you share it live with us? Lion, is the video showing? Somebody can tell us what's happening on the Facebook feed?
Yeah, it is.
Or Rampoon Radio? I'm not too sure. What are you guys seeing? Ricky, what are you seeing? What are you supposed to be showing?
That is what is on the Facebook for Rampoon Radio. Our thing is not connecting properly.
Also,
so we're not.
Okay,
so we're not seeing the video right now.
Ricky, can you stop sharing the screen? George, can you stop the video and then have Ricky show the video? Because the persons who have contributed towards this video, they did an awesome job, and I would like for us to appreciate it and be able to see it. So, Lion, can you stop the feed and have Mr. Thomas share the video instead? And then you can pull it from there. Can that work? We're at 5:11, guys. We're already over time.
I am Sally Bassett, an enslaved chemist and freedom fighter from Bermuda in 1729.
I am Taki, the name behind the Taki's Rebellion in Jamaica, 1760.
I am Kofi. I'm the leader of the Fur Beast Uprising in Guyana, April 15, 1764.
I am Joseph Chatouillet, the Black Caribs freedom fighter in St. Vincent and Belize from 1769.
I am Makanda, a leader and rebel in Haiti in the 18th century.
I am Gambian-born Dottie Buckman, the leader who presided over the religious ceremony at the start of the Haitian Revolution in August 1791.
I am Toussaint Louverture. I am the tactical leader of guerrilla warfare in Haiti in 1793.
I am Jean-Jacques Desai, a leader in the Haitian Revolution. I am Henry Christophe. Some say I'm Grenadian, some say I'm from Nevis. I was a key leader in the Haitian Revolution.
I am Tula. I led the uprising in Curaçao on August 17, 1795.
I am Bassa from Barbados. I led the 1816 revolt against slavery. I am Pedro Camejo. I am in Venezuela, but I came from Guadeloupe, and I call myself Black first.
I am Sam Sharp. I led the Christmas Rebellion in Jamaica in 1832.
I am Colata Lukimi, also known as La Negra Colata. I led the slave uprising on the sugar mill Triunvirato on the province of Matanza, Cuba on the 5th of November, 1843.
I am Queen Nanny, leader of the Jamaican Maroon in the 18th century.
Ayo, Paul Bogle, I me that. Say me led the Mount Berry Rebellion in Jamaica, 1865. Sure.
I am Sojourner Truth. I did not run away. I walked away by daylight.
I am Sally Bassett, an enslaved chemist and freedom fighter from Bermuda in 1729.
I am Taki, the name behind the Taki's Rebellion in Jamaica, 1760.
I am Kofi. I'm the leader of the Fur Beast Uprising in Guyana, April 15, 1764.
I am Joseph Chatouillet, the Black Caribs freedom fighter in St. Vincent and Belize from 1769.
I am Makanda, a leader and rebel in Haiti in the 18th century.
I am Gambian-born Dottie Buckman, the leader who presided over the religious ceremony at the start of the Haitian Revolution in August 1791.
I am Toussaint Louverture. I am the tactical leader of guerrilla warfare in Haiti in 1793.
I am Jean-Jacques Desai, a leader in the Haitian Revolution. I am Henry Christophe. Some say I'm Grenadian, some say I'm from Nevis. I was a key leader in the Haitian Revolution.
I am Tula. I led the uprising in Curacao on August 17, 1795.
I am Bassa from Barbados. I led the 1860s revolt against slavery. "1818. I am Pedro Camejo. I am in Venezuela, but I came from Guadeloupe. And I call myself Black first.
I am Sam Sharp. I led the Christmas Rebellion in Jamaica in 1832.
I am Colata Lukimi, also known as La Negra Colata. I led the slave uprising on the sugar mill Triumvirato on the province of Matanza, Cuba on the 5th of November, 1842.
I am Queen Nanny, leader of the Jamaican Maroon in the 18th century.
Ayo, Paul Bogle, I me that. Say me led the Mount Berry Rebellion in Jamaica, 1865. Sure.
I am Sojourner Truth. I did not run away. I walked away by daylight.
It's good.
Aisha? Over to you, Aisha. Okay, we have come to the end, and I would like to thank everyone for coming and supporting us, especially special thanks to our storytellers. We want to thank Dr. Small, Dr. Winston Small. Are you there?
Just move on.
We know that it's late, and our apologies are coming for our technical difficulties. Our apologies are coming for that, okay? I am not good at this, I'm sorry. Technology is not my thing. I must apologize for that. Is Dr. Small there?
Forget Dr. Small.
We got to say thanks to Dr. Small, guys. It's not easy to do what Dr. Small did and to put together the presentation. We would like to show appreciation to Dr. Winston Small and his lovely wife, Jean Small, for her kind support. Okay, Dr. Small, I guess Onika and Kofi will pass on our appreciation. And we also want to say thanks to Mr. Simon Green, the steel pan, the beautiful lady on the steel pan, Dominique Lewis. Dominique, are you here? Dominique, thank you very much, Dominique. Mr. Curtis Moise. Curtis Moise was on the drum. He gave us the drum roll, and he also was part of the Caribbean Freedom Fighters. That little clip. What do you guys thought about that little clip? Caribbean Freedom Fighters?
Fantastic.
It was fantastic. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you, guys. We also want to say thanks to, again, to Mr. Omfra Wells. Is Omfra there? And Dr. Richard, you saw Omfra had a big plate of food? You saw Omfra with a big plate of food? You asked him how much salt he had in it and what kind of salt.
Hey, I spread salt around my house. You ain't supposed to come out here.
Right? So Omfra, thank you very much for your
blessings. This should be documented and have as a resource for our continuous movement forward.
Thank you again. Mawuli Desabu. Mawuli Desabu. Mawuli, it's probably like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. Mawuli probably off to sleep. Mawuli, thank you and say thanks and greetings to the people of Africa. And we also want to thank Miss Aisha Worm for her assistance. We can't forget Rampoon Radio. Rampoon Radio, I know that it's late, guys. So I'm gonna, this is not by no means doing injustice to our presenters and our storytellers, and especially the little ones and the freedom fighters. You guys are awesome. Amma and Sari Green, the two little ones, guys, how are they? Amma and Sari Green with Gang Sarah. Yeah. And even though they had interruptions in the story, while they were telling the story, they acted like professionals. Right? So we saw our appreciation to Amma and Sari. Quincy, guys, Quincy had to run. Quincy had to run real quick. He has another engagement. He's a multi-talented, busy man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to say this is the second time she's doing this, and she has delivered every time. Our in-house storyteller, Miss Astrid Mitchell, she delivered. Oh, she is such a cunning writer and brilliant at it. Astrid, thank you very much. Our in-house storyteller. Ooh. We're moving over to one of my special friends. I like this man. I like this man real bad, especially his outfit. Y'all know who we're talking about? Y'all know who we're talking about?
Yes.
Who is that special man?
Mina.
Who? You? Wait, I can't find him. Where he gone? He's a looker. Let's see.
Kofi. That special man is Kofi.
Listen, Curtis, you You're lucky that I have children on this feed because I would have give you a word. I would have give you a word that Grenadians use. And it begins with M. I can't say it. But you see the special man here? Enough love. Enough love, my brother. Dr. Anthony Richards. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Richards. And then we're moving over to, oh my gosh, I love this child so much. I couldn't, my daughter would probably get jealous. No. My daughter would probably get jealous. The Garland, we're moving over to the Garland. We're moving over to the Freeport in the Bahamas. Where is my girl? How are you? She said she was nervous. She said she was nervous. Miss Duncombe, guys, let's show our love to Miss Duncombe. Miss Duncombe, Miss Duncombe. I know she would do something under the silk cotton tree to head over to Antigua. Hello, hello, hello. Look at that blush. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Duncombe. You are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And we're moving over to the UK. This lady, we have to let this lady get her beauty rest. We have to let this lady get her beauty rest. Now.
Yay, yay.
Yes. Now we have to, Malcolm X people. Malcolm X. Malcolm X people.
By any means necessary.
Yes. All right, my loyalty lies with the black race. Okay, Lisa Thomas, what's your website again? Just tell us your website where we can find you.
My website is river-stories.com.
river-stories.com. Thank you very much for staying up for the whole show.
I stayed for the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Anne. Thanks, everyone.
Anytime, my dear. Anytime, family. You heard Dr. Jacob? You heard Dr. Jacob? And we're moving over to the wonderful, the knowledgeable, the brilliant, the amazing. Dr. Jacob is a historian. And I guess the word history have story in it. But she delivered a lecture like a story. She told the story of our people. And she didn't just tell the story. I mean, something about your presentation. And I really, really enjoyed it. The greatness of our people. And we don't hear that too much. We don't hear that too much. Thank you, Dr. Jacobs. Well done, well received. Dr. Jacob, when Antoine told me that Nancy would do it, Dr. Jacob would do it, she got this covered. She got this covered. The Institute of the People's Enlightenment in Grenada. Where is the Institute? Are you guys there? Dr. Jacob did you guys justice. So I hope Mr. Antoine also have a check for you too.
P-R-O-U-D. Proud.
I realize Umfra is very, very quiet. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there, right? I want to go back to Sari because she was not there. We have to encourage our young people. And I thought they did an amazing job. And they stayed through the whole thing. You know, we have to make sure that every time we get to connect with our young people, we seize that opportunity. Nothing wrong with brainwashing them. Nothing wrong with brainwashing them once it's we that doing it. Right? Sari, where are you? I'm Small. Oh, here is Sari. How are you, Sari?
I'm good.
What did you thought about the storytelling? Real quick, because we were late.
I thought it was very good. One of my favorite ones was the Gang Gang Sarah story by Lisa Thomas.
Uh-huh.
Then the other one was from Quincy
Was Quincy? Oh, great, great, great. Right?
And I like Mr. Thomas's website too. I love it.
Great. Miss Thomas, you got a fan? You got a fan, Miss Thomas? You got a fan right there.
You did a really brilliant reading. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sari. Let's see what's going on with Amma Small. Hi, Amma.
Hi.
How was the story?
Good. It was actually awesome.
It was awesome?
Yeah.
What made it awesome?
The stories, everybody just coming together to stay there for and taking out their time on what they have to do.
Oh, so you appreciate that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And we appreciate you. We appreciate Sari. And we want to say thank you, young people. We love you. Much love, okay?
Brilliant, brilliant.
Good job. Well done. See, that's the love. Thank you very much. Yeah. So as we move back to the young people, did we thank Miss Aisha Worm? Did we say thanks to the beautiful Miss Aisha Worm? We did, right?
Yes.
I think she's happy with that. So now I want to take a little time to real quick say thanks to the persons who entered the Freedom Fighter video. As Mr. Umfra says, is anybody here who were in the Freedom Fighter video? Are you here? Just Christopher, Smiley, hello. Anybody here was a free? Where is Naira? Naira Green.
I'm here. Curtis is here.
Curtis is here. We're gonna get to Curtis because he's gonna give me trouble. Look at the beautiful Miss Naira Green, guys. Thank you, Naira.
Hi.
Thank you, Miss. Who are you? Sojourner Truth?
Yeah.
What do you know about her?
I actually have no clue. I am not that interested in history, but I do really like that all these Black people are saving those are like saving it. I have no clue what's going on actually.
Oh, we're still happy to have you there, my love. We're still happy to have you there. Much love from your auntie. Curtis?
She don't like history. What do those know they don't like history?
Yeah, but she said she liked that all these Black people are here. Curtis, thank you very much, Paul Bogle.
Me that, yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Paul Bogle. Miss Duncombe, we did. Who else is missing? Where is Miss? Our in-house storyteller. You guys remember her from the last time? No, Astrid is covered. That's my dear. Astrid. Okay. So anyway, let's just say thanks to everyone who participated. Mr. Farrell, young Miss Marshall. Young Miss Marshall, you guys saw Bussa?
Mm-hmm.
You guys saw Bussa by the cane field?
Yeah, we saw, yes. Bussa was very...
She was so excited. She was so excited to do that. So thank you. I think it was Abby. Her name failed me again. I know her father will be disappointed, but her name failed me. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Thank you to, guys, we have to say thank you to Rampoon Radio. Rampoon Radio. Special appreciation to Rampoon Radio and his team. They work with us. We still didn't get the technology right, but we promise you we'll work with you again. All right, thank you very much. But I just want to do a quick shout out before we wrap it up. I know I keep saying I just want to do, but I want to say thanks to Karen. Karen in Birmingham. Karen, and big up to Karen in Birmingham. She was there from start to end. Miss Lisa, you got support coming from Birmingham. Mr. Lewis, Mr. Theo Lewis. Miss Duncombe, when you get home, say thanks to Dad and hello to your family. Your dad was all teary eyes. That's my daughter. You should have heard him. He was so proud of you. Keep on making him proud. Melissa and husband, you still there? Mr. Sharp, Mr. Stephen Sharp, from start to end. Thank you for coming, sir. We are happy to have you. Did he disappear on me? But he was there from start to end. He's a statue. I think I got everybody. Everybody may have dropped off the feed. Rampoon Radio, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll just open to anybody else. Christopher St. Louis, thank you for coming. Much love, my brother. Thanks for coming.
Oh, Nanny.
I want to thank all listeners and all viewers. Thank you for joining Zoom and Facebook Live, wherever you are, YouTube. Thank you so much.
Usually Mr. Rampoon does that. So I'm kind of waiting for him to come in so that he can close for us. But I'm not seeing him at all. Marlene from St. Lucia, guys. We miss Marlene. What's up, Miss Neptune?
Well, I have to.
Nice to have you. Mr. Ian Marshall, Onika Small, big up. Or in-house artists, big up to Rita Thomas.
All right.
And Nigel A.
You will see
about my brother Kofi?
Screens going all over the place because as it is, we want to thank you guys so very much for checking us out. And you could pin me and just have one photo of me because I would open a page for everybody so you will see that on the screen. So we thank you so very much. And all that, listen, all that to remember, next time we come back, everybody had to mute and it was good, very good. We'll be better next time. I hope you guys learn a lot. I hope you guys learn. I learned, and I hope you did as well. And so back to you so you can close it out.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. Those of you who are left on the feed that we didn't acknowledge, I guess we have 28 persons. If you can give us an idea as to where you logged in from.
But I also would like to thank Kofi, my brother Kofi, for opening the door.
Brother, I got brother Kofi, boy. I got brother Kofi covered. Marlene Neptune in Grenada. Sorry, Miss Neptune.
Yeah. Hi, Marlene.
Marlene, Dr. Jacob saying hello. Okay, back to you, Umfra.
I was just saying that you mentioned everyone, but you didn't mention Kofi. I was just saying, Kofi, my brother, heal up. Because I know something.
Thanks for coming through.
Yes. Blessings.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for that, Umfra. I'm going to take care of that tonight in a special way. Make no mistake about that.
Thank you, Umfra.
I tell you. Christopher, where are you calling us from? Where are you logging in from? Christopher? Lisa, where's my little boy from last night? He's off to bed?
Come quick. He has on a Grenada t-shirt.
Hey, buddy, come on over.
Let me see your Grenada t-shirt. Look at his Grenada t-shirt. It says Grenada.
Oh, cool. Hey, how are you? He enjoyed the storytelling?
Did you enjoy the storytelling? Yes.
Excellent. Nice. Dr. Richard.
To say thank you to you, Ann Worm. You're a great cheerleader, right? Thank you to your sister and everybody in the background. And especially to Dr. Leal Small, who, when I came to Barbados, gave me 10 years ago, gave me a great deal of help with the silk cotton trees. Thank you, Dr. Small.
Yes.
Yes, he disappeared on us. I let him know. I let him know that you appreciate his small gesture. He's a bit what I should say. He's a bit under the weather, but I am sure he would be happy to hear that. Yeah, so we good. Miss Duncombe? Miss Duncombe?
Yes.
You have another story for the next time? I see you are writing.
I guess.
I tell you, you know I will be back. You know we will be back. Dr. Jacobs, how you doing?
I good.
You're good. Thank you very much. Peter is so proud.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
You did great. Despite the technical difficulties, in fact, we were warned about the moving parts, but we wanted to try it because we think it was worth it.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
nice.
For the background, I can say that Anne and Lion were up to about 4 o'clock in the morning. When I got up about 4:30, I had to tell Anne it's too late, just go in, forget about all these videos and everything else. But they worked tirelessly for the last probably 3 nights. All the presenters here knew that they had to come in. It was Thursday, then Saturday again, and then here again today. So the technology just didn't work with us, but next time around, I'm certain it will be better. Heartfelt thanks from Kofi. Great job, everyone.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'd like everybody to understand, that was just the end of the hard work. The hard work went on for a month with Anne and her team. And yes, she made us rehearse and rehearse and rehearse.
Yeah, that should be the mantra: rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. But we also have to, when Mr. Peter, we didn't thank the parents, it was important for us to thank the parents. Peter Antoine put on your, you know why Peter Antoine is not putting on his video, Oprah?
Right.
You know why Peter ain't putting on his video?
No.
I can't help you out there. He had to write a check, you forget.
When I went to Africa, right? One of the things I learned is that when people say goodbye is a fresh conversation, I wait in here to turn off, bye.
I want to say bye too, and thank you very much. It's been interesting.
Yes, thank you very much for coming, Mr. Theo, and keep the mangoes, keep watering the mangoes. You'll see me at your house at some point in time.
Okay.
Personally.
All right then.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Peter Antoine.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who is Nigel Lewis though. Before you go, Peter, I wanted to see who was Nigel Lewis. So fast.
Nigel Lewis or Nigel Antoine?
Hello, Nigel Lewis. Nigel, you're live.
Yeah, we're going. Wait, did you hear that, Peter? You gotta jump over.
Nigel, you're a Grenadian?
I'm Peter's brother.
Oh, where you logging in from?
Ottawa.
Wait, let me look at Peter and look at you. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me see Peter.
Tell him to take off your glasses first.
Yeah, let Peter take off the glasses. Peter, where are you? Nah, man. Peter, look as though you come from Budge Grove. Peter, take on the jab thing. Let me see Peter. Take on the jab thing. So go back to Peter. Go back to Nigel. No, I can't do a side by side. That's a lion to do.
Hi.
Let's see. So that is Peter, guys. And this is Nigel. Peter put on the glasses, we. So, which one is the older one?
Peter.
Peter?
Yeah, I'm the baby Peter.
Peter, you the older one? Okay, which one is the wiser one? We got problems though, right?
That's debatable.
You ain't so quick to say Peter anymore. When it was older,
that's
you
debatable.
were like Peter. But when you hear the wiser one, you're thinking about that, yeah? You didn't have to think much, did you?
Yeah, well, who's wiser is debatable.
Okay, thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, as we did.
I did.
Yes, Peter works really hard. It probably drove him nuts. Yeah, Peter.
Yes.
Yeah,
great job.
It's over.
I think we should book for next year the anniversary. So we'll do the 10 we did here, the 10 out of 10 tonight, or 8 out of 10 plus 3 next year.
Yeah.
Same time, same place on the anniversary. We have a whole year to plan.
Well, that's good. Next year is yours. Next year is yours.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
under your directorship.
thank you, sir. Thank you, Peter, for your usual
Great
support.
job. I see.
Ashe, Ashe. Dr. Jacobs, you had a good time, right?
Yes, I did.
Great,
Thank you,
great.
Nancy. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. And you guys don't forget to tune in to Rampoon Radio. Astrid gone. Nadia, thanks for lending me the girls. Now, our in-house technician, our backup technician. Look, Astrid was sleeping. Astrid, you wake up. You ain't even there in England and you're sleeping. How you saw?
No, me, Anne.
Yeah. Thank you, Astrid. Well done.
You're welcome.
Tell Maria, say hello.
I will.
Oh. I see, I wanted to know Black Woman Joy, but I don't know who that is. Ian Marshall, thanks again. Thank you. Erica, Jenna James. What nonsense is this? Jenna was there, Jenna ain't said nothing?
I'm minding my business and listening, and good job as usual.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jenna. You're too quiet in the background, man. The girls, thank you. And thank the freedom fighters when next you see them.
I will.
They did a wonderful
Thank you very
job.
much.
The video
I followed on YouTube.
Oh, great, great. The video was well received.
Yes, I realized that.
Yeah.
Yes, I followed on YouTube.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Carolyn, you still there or you left? All right, guys. I gotta go and eat some food. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
And I hope it's not KFC, you know.
No, man. Why I cook a pizza? What we cook today? Wait. Oh, shoot. I have the chicken and lime still. I got a problem.
Anyway, go eat, Anne. You deserve a plate of food now.
Yes, but I'm gonna put some salt in it. All right. Bye. Thank you, guys. Ricky, I'm gonna call you just now. Thanks. Bye, everyone. Wait. Who was that? Christopher, you were saying something? Bye. We're not hearing you clearly. I'll call you. I'll call you. Okay. I'll call you. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.